This video, we're going to walk through how to set up the Miracle iQube with the Hidizs Pro Max audio player. So I just want to look at components. This is the Miracle. This is the power strip. On the left side, you'll notice there's a reset button. If you get a surge, that'll turn off. Just make sure it's reset. You'll see that little, on this one, a little green light indicating there's power. This is the charging block. It's a USB-C charging block, and then the power cables. This is the audio player inside of the holder. Here we have the speaker. There's a little flap on the side of the speaker, and then controls are on the end here. You'll see these little impressions with a little minus and a plus. Those will turn your volume up and down. And then there's a power key here. The little white arrow, you can see there's a button, a black button right above this flap. And so this flap covers up these audio and the power charging connections, which go to these cables, which is the audio cable and the charging cable here. And then we've got some accessories. This is a inline volume controller and a transfer cable if you want to transfer files onto your player. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go right into setup, and we're going to get this charging block and pull these pins down and go ahead and insert that into the surge protector. This is a special charging block. It'll actually do 20 volts. So some laptop chargers would work, but we want you to use this one. So many of the other USB-Cs will not work for this. I'm going to go ahead and unwrap these power cables here. And once we get those unwrapped, you'll look and you'll see these color markers. This side has also an LED on it, if you see that line. And so we're going to plug that end into the back of the Miracle. If you turn the Miracle around and look at the back plate, you'll see those matching associated color markers, and we'll plug these two cables in to match those. So red to red and green to green here. Now the other end we'll plug into the charging block, just doing the same, matching the colors here. So you can see the red and the green. Excellent. Now when you look in the back of the Miracle, you manage these cables. You can use these ties later for that. You'll see there's a green light just to the left of that green input. That green LED just lets you know there's power inside. And now we're going to grab the audio player. You can see here on the stand, we've got a yellow marker here, and that's where the magnet for the player holder will attach. And it's going to go right to the yellow marker on the front of the Miracle. So when I bring it close, there's a magnet inside, and those magnets will grab. So you can just set it in there, and it should set itself. And then we've got two cables coming out the front of the Miracle, and those are going to go into the bottom of this audio player. The left side is your power. We'll plug this USB-C cable in there. And then the right side is your audio. Now with the power plugged in, the player will power up, and you can see that you've got green lights. As soon as you have a load and something's drawing voltage, you'll see green lights on these ends of the cable that have the line. So you'll have 3 LED markers on the back there you can check. Now that it's powered up, I'm going to go ahead and plug in this audio connector, just the red up here and towards the red dot. You can see how those are seated, make sure they're nice and tight. And then we're going to go to our audio player. So when you operate your audio player, you can swipe from left to right to navigate your tracks. I like to play the clearing track because the LEDs will be very bright. You tap that and you'll see a little yellow line. If you keep swiping from left to right or you get lost, you can always get back to music, tap on files, tap on SD card here at the top. And then you'll see your folders for different things. Normally we're going to operate at AM and during the day, and we're going to go to AM clearing for this test as we get set up. So if I swipe right to left, I can see what's playing, and I also have some feature options here. So you can see the numbers are counting, and down in the center, we've got play pause. Now when I swipe this down, just pulled from the very top down, there's one feature we have to enable, and that is the line out mode, which looks like a backward S little audio connector. So I tap on that, it's going to tell me I'm using line out. I tap OK, and we're good to go. And when we do that, if it's playing, you're going to see these flashing LEDs, which is perfect. That means the coil and the Miracle are actually emitting the energy now. I just want to reemphasize the line out mode here for a moment, swiping from top to bottom. If the player turns off or this audio cable gets unplugged, you're going to drop out of line out mode and you're going to have to reset it. So that's just an important thing to remember to check. I plug my audio cable in, I'm going to see that feature pops back up. And then I can tap on that audio connector, that backwards S, tap OK, and I'll be back in line out mode. Now, they have a regulation on sound volume that's written into the operating system for these players. And so the only way we can get them to run 24/7 at the same high volume is to use that line out mode. And so that's consistently going to be one of those things that you'll check when you're first getting started. If you don't see any lights, try and check that line out mode first and make sure it's enabled. The last step is to connect the speaker. So I'm going to grab this triangle speaker, and you'll see on the end there is a little minus and a little plus key. Those impressions will turn the volume up and down, and then there's power key. It's a circle right above this flap. And this flap is a little tricky when it's set down in there. You have to kind of dig down the very bottom to pull that up, and you'll see your charging and your audio connector here. So there's a little white arrow, points to the power button. Remember, that's right above the flap. Okay, so we're going to connect the charging cable, little blue marked cables with the USB connections. I'll pull up the flap, USB-C here towards the bottom, and let's go blue to blue. Holding that flap down, pressing that in there nice and snug. Now it's going to be important to plug this USB end into the surge protector. You might be tempted to want to put it into that USB block. Don't do that. Just in case we want to prevent ground loops where you have audio devices that share power and audio ground. Sometimes it makes a noise. So we'll plug it into the surge protector instead. You could plug it into another USB device as well, just not that black block. And then the last thing is we want to plug the straight end of this gold audio connector marked in blue. We're going to use that straight end and put it into this audio spot right above the power key. I like to use the straight end because this is a little bit depressed down, and the angled end sometimes likes to pop out a little easier. So we'll put this 90-degree here in the back of the Miracle. This is the audio splitter. It's built into this version of the Miracle, which is pretty convenient. And once we get it in there, we're actually going to hear some volume as soon as we press this power key. And then press the minus to turn the volume down, press the plus to turn the volume up. You can run without sound, meaning turning the speaker down or off as much as you like. We do recommend you use the sound when you play your voice codes. Then you can hum or tone with it and really let your body and your nervous system entrain and go into a deeper state of reception. Now the LED lights will flicker with different intensities. Sometimes you'll see 6, sometimes you'll see 3 lights. They'll have varying intensities with the different frequency programs. So as long as you see them periodically, the energy is emitting from the Miracle and everything is working well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to help.